Hi, and thank you for joining us today for the top 5 myths of open source. Are you ready to be the game changer? My name is Jessie, and I'm from Bywater Solutions, and we also have with us Kelly.
Hi, welcome.
Today, we're going to go through a quick presentation of just some of the myths versus reality of open source. We work for Bywater Solutions, where we provide support for open source products, such as Koha, which is an open source ILS, Aspen Discovery, which is an open source discovery layer that fits on top of your ILS so your patrons can discover all of the material that is available at your library. LibKey, which is a kiosk management system, open source for all of your patrons when they're coming in. If they need to reserve a computer or print any documents while they're at the library, LibKey can manage that. And then Coral, which is an open source ERM or an electronic management system. Finally, we also provide support for Folio, which is an open source LSP where you can manage all of your day-to-day activities for your library. So the first big question that we usually get when it comes to facts about open source software is security. You know, the myth or the misconception is open source is perceived less secure than proprietary software. Lots of proprietary systems have been around for a long time. When the reality is really open source software allows security issues to be quickly identified and fixed. There is a large open source community, whether we're talking about the Koha open source community or Aspen Discovery or Coral. All of those communities work together as a team to make sure that any issues are identified quickly and then quickly fixed in the system. So we'll give an example. With Koha, there are point releases that come out every month. The same thing goes for Aspen Discovery. During those point releases, if there's any type of security or bug fix that needs to take place in order to make it secure, it quickly comes out within that point release so it can be applied to your system. So when in fact, open source software really allows those security issues to be quickly identified and fixed. The next question we usually get is about IT staff. And do we really need to maintain a large IT staff in order to, keep our open source software up and running? When the reality is you can work with a support vendor that will maintain and support your software, which really helps free up the time for staff. So you can hire companies, Bywater Solutions is one of them, or other companies that provide support for your open source software. The nice thing about open source software is there's no license agreements that you need. You can hire that open source software provider and they can maintain your product. They can provide those updates, and then they can also answer any questions that you may have. There's all different types of models when it comes to support for open source software. And again, at Bywater, we are one of those support vendors, and we offer support, hosting, training, and ongoing maintenance for your system. The next question we get is about support. So the myth is there is less support for open source software, when in reality, there is a worldwide community of users that constantly work on open source software. They develop, they support it, and they continually approve it. And the nice thing about open source software is it's really library driven, meaning that librarians and staff that are using open source software can provide feedback and work with the developers so they can get access to exactly what they want to see in the system. We'll use Aspen Discovery as a great example. Aspen Discovery has monthly meetings, we call them Aspen gatherings, where librarians and staff get together with developers of Aspen, implementation specialists, and outreach specialists, and they talk about the things that they want to see in upcoming releases. They work on the roadmap together, and they keep everyone abreast of what's happening. That same thing goes for the Koha community. Koha has been around since 2000, and the community of users continuously grows and grows, and they care about the development. In the last release that just came out, 2105 of Koha, there was over 239 enhancements and 464 bug fixes. So the community constantly grows that product. The next question we also often get is access. So anyone can change the code. It's open, so anyone can get in there. The reality is developments require quality assurance testing and the release for the approval of the manager to say, yes, this actually works. So somebody just can't go in there and change the code and then it changes for everybody. There's a rigorous process that different groups of individuals participate in to make sure that it works. So once the development patch is applied to the system, individuals go in there and they test it. So there has to be at least 2 sign-offs in order for someone to say, yes, this actually works. And then a type of release manager then goes in and actually approves it. So there's really a strong presence of individuals who go in there and test to make sure that everything is okay. So the last thing we'll say is, are you ready to be the game changer? Open source opens you to a whole new world of a community of users that's passionate about what they do and passionate about libraries. If you're interested in learning more about open source or any of the products that we support, please contact Bywater Solutions to learn more. You can contact us at sales@bywatersolutions.com, contact us on the phone, or visit our website at bywatersolutions.com, and we'd be absolutely happy to set up a demo or talk to you more about the services that we provide for libraries. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you have a great ALA virtual conference. Please stop by our booth the next 3 days. We look forward to seeing you.